How long ago it seems since that day, that fateful day on the banks of the Elbe, when this adventure, oh so innocently, began.
Oh! Go away! Oh, let the little one have some, you big bully!
Here, let me try.
Oh, Axel, well done.
Do you love me, Grauben?
Oh, no, I do.
Oh, then marry me.
All right.
You will? Oh, Grauben!
But first of all, you will, of course, have to get your uncle's permission. I am his ward, remember?
Oh, yes. Yes, I suppose I will, won't I? My uncle's in the study, then, is he, Martha?
And behaving like a raving madman, refusing to eat, refusing to drink, and all because of some stupid parchment he found.
Axel!
Yes, Uncle.
Well, don't just stand there gossiping, boy. What is this, the local fish market? Come up here, this instant.
Right, Uncle.
Huh, you see?
Oh, what is the point, though, Axel? Will you please tell me that?
The point of what, Uncle?
Being blessed with the mightiest mind since Leonardo, when I find myself frustrated by a simple cryptogram.
Which cryptogram would that be, Uncle?
Oh, this one, of course. Well, don't just stand there gaping, boy. See what you make of it. Not that for a second, mind you, I believe you'll be able to make anything of it. Although, as a blood relative, I suppose you display the occasional glimmering of intelligence. It fell out of a book I have just purchased by Snorro Turlson, the great Icelandic writer. You realize that Icelandic is a language I speak and read as fluently as any native, and probably better than most of them.
I believe you've mentioned it once or twice, yes, Uncle.
But this isn't the work of Turlson. This was written by Arne Saknussemm, the legendary 16th century explorer.
How can you know that, Uncle, if you haven't been able to translate it yet?
What I haven't been able to decipher is the cryptogram. His name, you will notice, is clearly recognizable underneath it. And if Saknussemm has gone to such lengths to make it so difficult to decipher, then it can only mean that the message it contains is of the most profound importance.
You didn't try holding the parchment up to the light and reading the cryptogram from the other side, then, Uncle?
Oh! And why on earth should I consider doing something so obviously infantile?
Because if you had, you see, Uncle, what you would have found was that the cryptogram was perfectly easy to decipher, really.
Mm-hmm. Uh-huh.
So, having solved that little problem for you, Uncle, there was something I wanted to talk to you about, actually.
Descend into the crater of Snæfellsjökull, over which the shadow of Scartaris falls before the calends of July, bold traveler. And you will reach the center of the earth. I have done this. Arne Saknussemm.
Snæfellsjökull?
Is an extinct volcano, of course, in Iceland.
And very interesting, I'm sure, Uncle. But about this other matter...
There. You see.
Uncle!
Are you still here, boy? Why aren't you packing?
Packing?
We leave tomorrow.
For where?
There.
But that's miles away.
Worst of it is, we leave tomorrow.
Tomorrow? We've just become engaged.
That's the other thing. My uncle, that is.
He didn't refuse.
No, it's just that he was so excited. You know how he is.
Oh, Axel, you didn't ask him.
I didn't get the chance.
Oh, Axel!
Grauben!
Axel, come aboard. We're about to leave.
Just a moment, Uncle.
Axel.
Just one more.
Oh, Axel!
Grauben! I thought for a moment you weren't going to come.
For a moment I wasn't, but then...
Axel, come on, man.
Raise the gangway!
Whatever happens, I shall always love you, Grauben.
Goodbye, Axel!
Goodbye, Grauben!
I love you too, Axel. I shall always love you too, Axel!
And so we took the boat from Hamburg, sailing first west and then northwest out into the North Atlantic, towards Iceland, a land of glaciers and volcanoes.
Volcano Sneffels, Axel. And one that we must climb before the calends of July, remember? If we are to discover the gateway to the center of the earth.
Yes, Uncle. And now, if you'll excuse me. My dearest darling Grauben, we have at last reached Reykjavik after the most amazing voyage. I remain convinced, however, that we are embarked upon a wild goose chase, but my uncle refuses to discuss anything, including our engagement, until his curiosity about the mystery of the parchment has been satisfied.
Come on, Axel. We've no time to lose.
But we're not leaving this instant.
No, Axel. And we won't be leaving at all unless we find a guide. Well,
To Sneffels?
yes. Then to the center of the earth.
Tomorrow? Yeah, I'll do it.
Wonderful.
So that is the giant I am to defeat, is it?
And you're quite sure that it is extinct, are you, Uncle?
Quite sure, my boy, quite sure.
Then what was that?
Just a minor earth tremor, dear boy. No cause for alarm. Upward then, gentlemen. Upward.
Ja.
Oh, I hope he's all right, Martha. If anything should happen to him, I should just die. I know I should.
Happen to him? Oh, my dear Grauben, but what could possibly happen to him with Professor Lidenbrock in charge?
You can put us down now, thank you. So, here we are at last, gentlemen. And with still a full day to go before the calends of July are out. So, we wait until noon tomorrow. And when that peak up there casts its shadow into the crater, it will tell us which of the chimneys we must descend.
If the sun comes out tomorrow, that is.
My dear Axel, but what a pessimist you are. The weather will be fine tomorrow. Fine.
We have your word for that, have we, Uncle?
What time is it?
11:58.
Oh, only 2 minutes left then. And after that, we shall have to wait another entire year before we can try again. Oh, I can't believe it. I just can't believe it.
Listen.
I can't hear anything.
Exactly. Which means it must have stopped. And look. Here comes the sun, Uncle.
Come on. Come on. Yes. Yes.
And look at this, Uncle.
The entrance, gentlemen, to the underworld. Down you go then, my boy. Not afraid, are you?
Of course not.
Here you are. You are all right now?
Fine. Fine.
Good.
Well, gentlemen, it seems we have arrived. And Tomorrow, after a good night's sleep, our real journey begins.
But in which direction, Uncle?
Why, in this direction, of course. Because unless my eyes deceive me,
We're going to have to find fresh water soon, Uncle. My bottle's almost empty.
don't worry. It's simply a matter of time now before we come upon some underground spring or river. These caverns must abound with them.
Look, Uncle! Water!
Just crystal formations in the rock, yes?
Which way now, Uncle?
This way, of course.
Dead end.
I'm afraid so, Axel. We shall have to go back and take the other tunnel.
But that could take us days, and there's no guarantee we'll find water in that one either.
Then there's no time to lose, is there?
We find water soon. You see.
It's no use. I can't go any further. Leave me here and save yourselves.
And do tell me, Uncle, how I would ever be able to explain that to Grauben. Here.
Thank you.
He's leaving us, Uncle. Hans is deserting us.
Hans! Hans! Come back here! Hans! Oh,
Warten!
What?
Warten!
Barton?
water. He's telling us he's found water.
Come!
That's certainly water, all right.
But how do we get at it, Uncle?
I show you.
It's red hot, Uncle.
But it will cool down, boy. And when it does, you can have all the water you can drink. Well done, Hans, well done.
I was also thirsty.
And of course you realize that our newfound friend will provide us with all the drinking water we need for the remainder of our journey. And since it is an immutable law of nature that water only runs downhill, not up, by following its course, it must also lead us to our destination.
Uncle, I think these are... Uncle? Hans? Uncle? Where are you? If this is supposed to be a joke, it isn't funny, you know? Oh, no! Uncle! 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 No. As I lay there in the dark, I gave in to utter despair. Was I really to be left here, buried alive, never to see the sky again, my lovely Grauben again?
And since it is an immutable law of nature that water only runs downhill, not up, by following its course, it must also lead us to our destination.
Which, of course, we were doing, which means that if I follow the stream back uphill again, then I must also find them again. Try as old bones. So that's how I lost my way, because I wasn't following the stream. But what was that? There it is again. Pistol shot! It was a pistol shot! I'm here, Uncle! I'm here!
That's him! Here, Axel! Here! We're coming, boy. We're coming.
Oh, what on earth! Oh, thank heaven.
We're coming, my boy. We're coming.
Look out! Here.
Thank you. Oh, my God, Hans.
Leave it to me.
Axel. Is he dead?
Just unconscious.
I'm coming down.
The sea?
The Lidenbrock Sea, actually, since I was the one who discovered it. It seemed only fitting that I should call it that.
But how can we possibly have returned to the surface so swiftly, Uncle?
As a matter of fact, my dear boy, my best estimate is that by now we must be at least 80 miles beneath the surface.
An entire 80 miles, Uncle? This far underground?
And only the first, I'm sure, of the many wonders which await us, Axel.
But the light...
A mystery, my dear Axel, that so far not even my considerable intellect has yet managed to unravel. But rest assured, I shall, my boy, I shall. So, how are you feeling now?
All right, I think, apart from a headache.
Good. Because tomorrow, my boy, we have a sea to cross.
And just how do you propose we do that, Uncle? By swimming?
What you must realize is, my dear Axel, that you have been unconscious for at least 24 hours. In which time, the good Hans and I haven't been idle, you know.
Wow! Uncle?
Good gracious, but how fascinating.
So does this mean there are probably people living down here, do you think?
My dear boy, what you are looking at here is the head of a man of the Quaternary period. Contemporary of the mastodon. No less. This fellow died at least 100,000 years ago.
Then why is he so perfectly preserved?
Quite obviously, because of some preserving agent in the soil down here, I should think. I shall make it the subject of my very first lecture when we get back to Hamburg. All right. So, Axel, while Hans is loading up the raft with provisions, time for one final exploration, I think.
Look! Mushrooms, Uncle.
But such mushrooms as the world above has never seen here, Axel.
What was that?
I don't know. Coming from somewhere up ahead, I think.
And what was that?
Well, it sounded like... That's impossible, surely. I should have lived to see this day. Living, breathing mastodons.
Uncle!
But, my boy, don't you realize that what we are seeing here hasn't been seen on the surface of the Earth for nearly 100,000 years?
They might be dangerous, Uncle.
Nonsense. My dear boy, they won't attack us if we don't threaten them.
But I think he might. Run, Uncle!
Oh, my word. Cast off, hands. Cast off. My estimate was that this sea could not possibly have been more than 150 miles across. Yet, we've already travelled 3 times that distance, and there's still no sign of land ahead. And now, even the wind has dropped.
At least we can perhaps estimate its depth, Uncle. Hey! Teeth marks? What sort of fish has teeth strong enough to leave its teeth marks on metal, Uncle?
The sort of fish, perhaps, that hasn't been seen on Earth, Axel, since the dawn of time.
What was that? A whale?
Something infinitely more dangerous than that, I'm afraid, Axel.
What is it, Uncle?
Unless my eyes deceive me, an ichthyosaurus, the most formidable of all antediluvian reptiles.
But I thought they died out hundreds of thousands of years ago.
But then so did the mastodon, remember? Here he comes. Fire!
We hit it! We hit it!
But then, what effect can bullets have, Axel, on that kind of armor?
My God, look over there, Uncle! Now we have 2 sea monsters to face!
Not necessarily, Axel. What you see there is a plesiosaurus, mortal enemy of the ichthyosaurus. provided we get to the other side of this accursed sea, let him blow our raft to smithereens for all I care.
Axel!
Good morning, nephew. I trust you slept well after our little ordeal.
But surely, Uncle, that's the mushroom forest up there. And this is the little harbour from which we sail.
It seems, my boy, that fate has played the cruelest of tricks on us. The storm has blown us right back to the point from which we began our voyage. However, no matter. The raft has already almost been restored, and the Good Hans has managed to rescue most of our provisions. So, after we've had our breakfast, we shall once again be on our way.
You'd face that terrible sea again?
My dear boy, when one is on the brink of world-shaking discoveries, one cannot let a mere storm deflect us from our mighty purpose. So, if you'll be so kind as to find us some fresh water, please.
Uncle? Uncle, come over here!
Oh, mighty Saknussemm, after 3 centuries, you still point the way, and we, your fellow explorers, humbly follow in your footsteps. Well, don't just stand there, boy. Bring lamps.
But Saknussemm must have come this way, or he would never have left his arrow on the wall outside.
Then let us not forget, nephew, that was several centuries ago. And who knows what seismic disturbances have occurred to block the passage since.
Perhaps I dig our way through, yeah?
A task beyond even your Herculean strength this time, I think, Hans.
Then what about gunpowder, Uncle? Hans managed to rescue the gunpowder, didn't he?
But of course he did. That's it, my boy. That's it. Now, you know what to do, Axel.
I wait until you put to sea before lighting the fuse.
And the very minute the fuse catches, you join us with all speed on board so that we can be well out of harm's way before the explosion occurs.
Right, Uncle.
In that case, let us proceed at once, gentlemen. For after all, the center of the earth awaits us. Oh, no.
Get back! Get back, you beast! Go away! Clear off! Good riddance! I did it! I did it!
The gunpowder, Axel.
Huh? Now we're rising, Uncle. And it's getting warmer.
Yes, I'm afraid it is.
And look at the water, it's steaming. What's happening to us, Uncle?
Well, what I suspect is happening, my boy, is that we appear to be being sucked up into a volcano. One, I'm afraid, that is about to stage a most spectacular eruption. I'd say that...
What? What? Where are we?
That mountain.
That one they call Etna.
Then that makes this one...
Stromboli, of course. Goodbye, Uncle. Have a wonderful honeymoon, my boy, but hurry back. After all, there is no time to waste if we are to resume our journey to the center.
Resume it?
You see, I have worked out that it may well be possible to find another route through the volcano Etna.
Drive on, coachman, drive on!
Yeah, here. Bye.
I think you make a good yoke, Professor.
Yoke, Hans?